How's it going, speedsters, vigilantes, super flyers, whatever you want to call this video, because this is my thoughts on the Superheroes Fight Back trailer. I know I'm a little bit late with this, but I thought, you know, still why not give my opinion. I did see a little bit of this when it was uploaded on Twitter and everyone was talking about it, and I was just out in the city and I couldn't make a video about it, but I did see like Barry's suit, and I'm not surprised with the kind of lackluster feel or response to it that everyone has got, and me included a little bit, because, well, I guess we'll get to the trailer, and when we get to that bit, you'll see my opinion. But anyway, guys, before I go into this breakdown, be sure to subscribe to this channel for more Flash videos just like this, and why not give this video a like if you do go on to enjoy it, because it really does show your support for the channel. But let's get straight into this, react to it, and give my thoughts on it.
There are people out there with power
trying to unite the divided
Yeah, we
world.
got obviously all of the superhero shows.
Optimism will save us.
New and old footage.
Going to school today, Flash? It's a little tighter than I remember.
That's new footage.
Fight back.
I'm gonna make this city breathe.
Cicada.
When I come back, we ripping these
See,
bags apart.
Let's dance.
Come on, y'all!
You're afraid to make waves? Make them anyway.
Everything I do is for my family.
You, my friends, fixed history.
You're part of something greater.
and there we go again.
Black Lions will always fight for justice.
You cannot extinguish a child of God!
You should have killed me.
I guess that's it. Well, and as I expected, I'm not going to talk about every last thing like Legends and Supergirl and Arrow and Flash all in one video. I guess I'll point out the Flash stuff and the Arrow stuff because that's what is intriguing me at first. Of course, we get the Season 1 suit that we see Barry in the Comic-Con trailer previously. And we see these two, I believe, either they're security guards, can't really tell right now, or CCPD officers. And yeah, he's wearing the Season 1 suit, and this is obviously before he gets the new Flash suit, probably from Nora in that Flash ring, and he's like, oh yeah, it's a little bit tighter than what I remember, and it's pretty cool. We'll obviously see him wear that throughout the majority of the first episode, I believe, and right at the end, I think that's when the Flash ring thing will happen. Before I get to that little cool Cicada tease, this is where we see Barry wearing the suit, and it is kind of, you know, as Grant Gustin said on his Instagram, he's kind of like checking it out. Barry's like, new suit, who this? I knew when we saw that crossover poster, and you should be seeing it on stream right now, the suit looks great there, like it really does, and I knew that it would be, whether it's contrast or saturation or something that makes it look a bit more defined with the patterns that is now weaved in the fabric on this suit. It looks more like it wasn't the fabric. I don't know how to kind of put this down, but I said in my video breakdown on that, it looks more like the Ezra Miller suit. Obviously not like proper metallic plate bodies, but you know, they really made the lines on this new suit's torso kind of stand out even more. But when you do see it in motion and you do see it on screen, I knew it wouldn't stand out as much. I knew they were just like fabric or seam lines, and the poster made it look a lot more, I don't know, robust and popping. But when we see it here, even though I like the new suit in many ways, it is just more of like that, you know, form-fitting sleeve, and you can see the seam lines, but they're not as, like, you know, engraved as they were on that poster, which made it look a lot more badass, I feel. Now, what do I think? I really like it. I knew this is what it would look like. We all did kind of in a way beforehand. That poster was slightly misleading in a sense, because we saw what Grant Gustin posted to his Instagram of him in his trailer, and there it didn't look as bright as what we've seen it, and it didn't actually feature the glove, you know, lightning bolts there. But we've seen and noticed that since the crossover poster came out. But here, we actually get to see what it looks like a lot more, you know, in the episode. And he's like checking it out. I don't really... First of all, I still like it, guys. I still like it. I'm over the moon with the longer emblem bolt on the bottom half of the lightning bolt. I freaking love the lightning bolts on his arm. You can see how that really goes like down there, and then it comes up and then around. They are like long gloves, I believe, like as in like long villain kind of gloves, or just like what you see on the Flash or like Wally and Young Justice or something like that. That's not a part of his suit. That's why we didn't see it in Grant Gustin's trailer. I do love them. I do love them. I believe they're attached right to the very end of that glove, and it's just like you pull that up, you know, and it slap on there. I love the engraving, that little cool little engraving into the fabric or wherever it is. That's on his bicep. Pretty cool. Said that when we got our first look at the suit. CW poster image. That should be popping up on the screen right now. That looked cool. I was a bit worried that there wouldn't be any lightning bolts on the arm when we first saw that, because you couldn't see it. Because as somebody pointed out in my last video, I think the glare is blocking it, which is very true. I guess they kind of wanted to do that to keep a little bit of a surprise, because as I said, I think maybe they know people like me really dig like the cool little flash touches like lightning bolts. However, guys, the bit that I don't like, even over the helmet, believe it or not, I think I'm getting used to the helmet. I know I'll get to the second image. Right now we're only looking at the one where he's in Star Labs, and I believe, by the way, this is just after he, you know, the flash ring spurts the suit out and he jumps into it, and this is still in, I believe, that Cortex room, but like, you know, heat from the other side, near where Nora was standing, and like he's looking towards Team Flash over there, checking it out. I think it's just literally following that moment, and he's just jumped into it. It just makes sense. I think it is just right at the end of episode 1 of season 5. But anyway, guys, moving on. The bit I just don't like that much is the neck bit. It's like this, like, opaque is the right word, I believe, clean filmy touch to the neck. Now, obviously, this whole new head helmet version of the cowl is so Grant Gustin can look around a lot more. We've had, it's like a notorious thing in superhero costumes. Christian Bale's Batman back in the day and stuff like that, or any superhero like that, when you have a cowl, it's like, can't move, you have to do like this to combat like this. You can't go like that. And I believe when I got told a little bit about it, I think, you know, from what I heard, Grant Gustin didn't obviously always love wearing that cowl. I think if I was an actor after 5 seasons, I'd be like, can we change this up as well? But the thing is, as a result of that, they didn't put the same fabric, interestingly, on the neck as what they've done with the suit. Which is, I don't know. I'm not a costume designer. I thought just the helmet part of it, since this cowl, just the helmet pops up like that, would be good enough for him to move his neck. But I think they obviously needed this material, this shiny, gleamy material, to do that as well. I was hoping maybe it would just still... I think it should still be the same fabric as what they've used on the suit. It is just a bit too different from everything else. I think they kind of get away with the helmet because it looks just like the previous one, just without the chin strap. I know people were saying their head looks a little bit bigger. I personally don't really mind about it. It doesn't look too different to me. I love the ears on it. They point out a little bit more. And they're probably bringing the chin strap back anyway. So the helmet isn't a huge issue for me over the neck bit. That neck bit's just too different. It's just weird. And now moving on to that next shot where Barry's saying, I think maybe to Wally or someone, you know, you're a part of something much bigger or greater. And I think with his arms out like this, it's just a theory of mine that I think this might be when he's phasing the plane through the bridge that we're going to get, maybe at the very end of episode 1, or I think that is episode 1. So maybe from what I said earlier, when he gets that suit at the end of episode 1, he's like, well, I don't have a suit. And then she gives it to Barry through the flash ring. Maybe that's when he goes out, when Wally's on the plane and he saves the plane, episode 1 over. And then from there onwards, we get this new suit instead of just the episode ending there. But anyway, this could be him phasing through. But either way, we can see the neck bit a lot more here. Crinkled up, literally, around... It's not form-fitting there. And I'm not trying to be too picky because I do respect it and I do like the suit. It's just that neck bit is just a bit too weird, and it's not as attractive as the previous suits. It's not as cool looking, but everything else, like lower down, it is brilliant, and I'm totally game for that. It's just, yeah, I don't know how they kind of looked at this, and for a new season, our fans are going to really like this change. I really don't think... I just struggle to believe as to how they thought that. It wasn't one person in the room, whether they spoke up or not, and they thought, actually, I don't think that's going to look great, you know, that part of the neck bit. I don't know. I'd love to know what you guys think about this suit. That's everything I've got to say on to that. I guess it will change from what Grant Gustin T saying. It doesn't mean it's not coming back or something like that with a chin strap. So yeah, I guess they're just working really hard behind the scenes right now to bring it back in a later episode or something like that. But anyway, let's move on to the Arrow stuff. But not before the Cicada tease. Right here we can see, I believe this is Cicada himself. I don't think they're doing the whole followers thing, having a lightning dagger each. I think that would be OP as hell, because I think they're going to supercharge this one dagger to be the overpowered dagger of, like, you know, the threatening thing that Cicada has, right? However, I swear it looks a little bit different. I can't remember off the top of my head what the previous dagger looked like. I think the end bit, the lightning bolt dagger part of it, is the same thing. However, I swear it didn't have that hilt. You know when he slapped it on the table at the end? I might be wrong. I'll find out when I'm editing this video. Who knows? This might not make it into the video if I cut it out. But I swear it's like he's added like a kitchen knife handle or hilt, if you want to use that terminology, onto the dagger. I mean, I don't care. It makes sense, right? So he doesn't have to grip around that like shard of lightning that he's added onto the end there. Apart from that, there's really nothing more else to say there. It's just like that little tease. It's like, oh, there's a lightning dagger. There's him equipping it. He's got it out. So you would have to think that he's either got to face down with someone, or this is the first person he's going to kill to get to the Flash, or like that gets the Flash's attention even more, maybe. But anyway, now onto the Arrow stuff. We see Felicity beaten up, and she's talking to Oliver, which is very interesting because I think we're all under the impression, apart from Diggle and what we saw in the trailer, he would be the only one visiting Oliver in prison, especially when she's in like the witness kind of protection thing. And I think what Felicity is saying here is like, you know, I have to fight back because maybe Oliver is saying to her, just like me, I'm not saying she has to take a beating all the time or whatever happened to her, which I think has got something to do with Diaz, but I think with Oliver getting beaten up, it's very obvious that from the trailers, he's not fighting back until he obviously does, and we get that a bit in this trailer as well. But maybe he's saying to Felicity, look, just don't do it. Just go into a new witness protection place or something like that. Just tell them, avoid Diaz, blah, blah, blah. But I think Felicity's like, after especially getting beaten up, just like when Curtis did, if you remember back in season 5, that kind of gave him the inspiration to be stronger and be a hero. Not saying Felicity's going to be vigilante or anything, but she's like, I'm not standing down. I want to fight back. Hell yeah. Like, I'm not letting this happen. And maybe that's when it snaps for Oliver as well. For the next time he gets hit in prison or something like that, he's like, well, screw this. I'm going to fight you back as well, because we see him with a weight later in this trailer in the prison, fighting somebody, and it looks like the guard, the same guard who woke him up, the guard who seems like he's a dick, you know, and when he was smirking at Oliver, waking him up in the San Diego Comic-Con trailer, seems to be letting this all happen. I bet he loves it. I bet the other inmates have been like, you know, if you turn an eye or just make sure nobody comes in, we'll beat up the Green Arrow, and maybe he's down for it, maybe he's getting paid. It's very obvious. You can kind of think of that from there on out. But that's when obviously Oliver's going to snap as well, and we can see that he's got a freaking huge ass weight, and he's going to knock somebody the F out with that. And we even see at the end of the trailer, like after some kind of fight has evidently happened, he's like, you should have killed me. Like, and we know Oliver is going to be absolutely brutal if he's flicked that switch in his head where he's not going to take any shit anymore. And I think maybe, I don't know if this will be the thing, but we did hear Stephen Amell say that you're just not going to like Oliver if you're a fan of him. Like, I think it was like, I hope you don't like him because you shouldn't after what happens or what he does. So maybe he is going to be absolutely and utterly brutal, or maybe he was on about we might not like him because he's being very submissive. He's maybe advising Felicity to run away, not fight back, because of like maybe Diaz attacked her. And I'm not talking about the Vision, by the way, because it seems like that one where they're in the forest and Diaz is coming after William. I think that's a nightmare of Oliver's after Felicity has gone to visit him and she's all beaten up, and then I guess because he's inside and he's having these dreams, it would give him a nightmare that Diaz is going to come back, but not only just beat her up, but shoot her. So that could be very well the case. This is why he's having that nightmare we see that was in the trailer. It could not be a nightmare, but I'm pretty sure it is, that Diaz isn't actually there going to shoot them. But what I do think in terms of Diaz actually beating Felicity, we did see in the San Diego Comic-Con trailer of him like a bit out of breath. It seems like he's, you know, like towering over somebody, and who could he be towering over? And especially looks like the same kind of room. Mind you, looking at Felicity here, and we see her chucking that coffee pot at the person. It looks like that person does have like a gun. Maybe Diaz was going to shoot, or maybe he was just gonna clock her with it, and maybe, I think rather than killing her, he wants to know, I think he wants to beat up Felicity so he can send a message to Oliver saying, look, I can do this to your family whenever I want, and you have absolutely no power over it. And I think that will get in his head more, and that's what I think Diaz might want to do, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess. But on another note, it looks like Wild Dog is training people when he's not a vigilante. Obviously, everyone at the minute, there's like been no vigilantes ever since the Green Arrow's gone in prison, blah 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 blah, apart from this mystery guy running around murdering people. Looks like even though Wild Dog evidently wants to get back in the game from the San Diego Comic-Con trailer, he's like, we have to do something, blah 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 blah. It seems like he might be teaching self-defense classes, and it looks like maybe his daughter might be there as well. Who knows? But it's something, I guess, that he feels like he can do to make people feel a little bit safer. I don't know, but I'll leave the rest up to you guys. But I would love to know everything you thought about what I spoke about in today's video. I know I couldn't go over everything, but I would have spoke forever, and I think I've been talking long enough as it is in terms of like what we can see and theorizing about what could happen potentially. But as I said, I would love to know your opinions down in the comments below, guys. Be sure to leave a like on this video if you did actually enjoy it, because it really does help the video get noticed and seen. Other than that, guys, subscribe if you're brand new, because I post more videos like this all the time on DCTV and other nerdy comic book news and stuff like that. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Check out the links in the description. You can follow me on things like social media there, and check out my merch if you want to support the channel a little bit more. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.